Hello to my Geminis. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Sending you all lots of love and light, Geminis. All right, we had a beaver moon in this full moon, right? This full moon, we had a beaver moon. It was a full moon in Taurus, right? So we know why beavers build a dam, and they build them primarily to protect themselves from predators, right? That's primarily why they build them, but they also to help the ecosystem as well. But that was the beaver moon that we had here. So you're protecting, you're learning where Gemini falls in your birth chart. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Please, please, please pull your birth chart. Your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde. You want to learn something new. You all love to learn. You want to learn something new. Here's your card here. This is Mercury. Right? It's currently retrograde until the 29th of November. This is the third time this year Mercury would have gone retrograde. And so planets don't move backwards and they don't move at a slower pace. But you want to make sure the message that you send out that's in receiving mode, because that's where you all really kind of, you really shine in your third house. You all rule third house, but that doesn't mean that your zodiac sign is Gemini in your third house, right? So you want to make sure, one, you're operating in your purpose, right? It's your 10th house, answer the call in your life, right? So this is what I'm picking up in your reading here. So first, let's get into your reading is going to be about your dual light, right? The duality of Geminis, right? So you all are able to flip the switch real quick, right? In terms of your communication, how you send out and receive. That's what I love about Geminis. Just the fact that you love to learn, to actually you're able to flip the switch real quick, right? Just kind of like learn, like receive downloads, send out a message. So receive, send out, receive, send out, right? So even for my cross watchers, get real in tune with the Gemini in you, right? Instead of looking at it as like a negative. Everybody has had, high or low experiences with every zodiac sign. But get to know your birth chart and see the high side of that part in you, right? But this week, Gemini enters a gateway of dual illumination, a period where understanding both sides of a situation becomes your superpower. So as the air shifts with higher insight, your mind expands into new spiritual dimensions. This motivational spread for you all guides you through clarity, direction, and soulful alignment. Expect revelations, emotional breakthroughs, and inspired momentum as the universe invites you to rise into your next level of truth. Okay? What I'm picking up here in your cards is that people are still misunderstanding the word star. They still really are they're still getting it. Everyone is a star. Everybody has an 11th house. Everybody has a sign in their 11th house, meaning everybody has a purpose. 10th house, Capricorn rules 10th house. Everybody has a call on their life. Literally everybody. If you are still breathing, you serve a purpose here on planet Earth. Like we saw the movie. What was the movie? Let me look it up. Okay, so yeah, as long as you're breathing, you have a purpose. As we remember, the movie The Black Panther with the actress Dorothy Steele, who played in the Black Panther. She started her acting career at the age of 88. 88, the number 88 is significant because 8 is wealth exchange, and she started hers at 88. She passed away at the age of 95 in 2021. But as long as you're breathing, you have purpose on planet Earth. And some people answer their call later in life. They ask, what was the purpose of all of these things happening in life? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What is going on? Because as soon as we come out of the womb, we're returning to pure consciousness. We're returning to every experience is enlightenment, leading us back to pure consciousness, right? And those stories should give everybody hope. Should really give everybody hope. What I'm seeing here in your cards is you have someone who is really, really focused on helping other people find their stars. Aquarius just happens to rule 12th house, right? Like you all rule 3rd house and you love to learn. So Aquarius rules 12th house. So they're very comfortable in just playing the background. They don't necessarily have to be out in the public. There could be some Aquarius that are, that are out there. And well, obviously you have some Aquarius that are more famous than others, who are more, I'll just say more known than others. But there are some who are, they're fine just kind of sort of it being in the background, but they rule 11th house, right? Looks like there's but somebody had a first impression of someone. Somebody had a first impression that somebody likes to be, they're only money driven, right? Because 8 is a money exchange, and they want to, but for having a first impression, and Aries had a first impression of someone who was a low vibrating Aries had a first impression of two people that they would be driven by money, right? And one could have been driven by money. Another one could have been driven by, the material world. Another person could have been driven by love, right? Just literally driven by love, like agape love. Like, and the scales from someone's eyes have been removed. This 7 of Cups, the devil really is in the details. But something legal is going on in the justice system. The number 7 connects us with the justice card. Some kind of injustice was done, and the scales from someone's eyes have been removed. Somebody was put in a very toxic situation where bowls were flipped over. Like a person would sort of ask a person this question, do they drink? Are they on drugs? Are they sexually promiscuous? Are they this? Are they that? Do they look disheveled when they leave the house? Basically, like doing some kind of evaluation to determine somebody's mental state, physical and mental state, right? Just right here, right? Right. Whenever I see the Ace of Swords, somebody's going back through their mental Rolodex, right? Somebody's kind of going back through their memory, kind of going back down the stair steps of their mind, like going back through their memory of some things, right? Like this person, but this person seemed like they were inebriated. So not necessarily from drinking. They could have been around, see, you had this powdery substance here. So there could have been smoke or something around. Somebody could have been smoking. There could have been colorless, some kind of odor where somebody just did not seem like themselves, right? But Ace and 7 would put us at 8, just like 1 and 7 here is 8. 17 star card is this 17 is 1 and 7 is 8. In this right here, Ace would be 1, 7 is 8 also, right? So putting someone in a poisonous environment, and you see this ladder right here, this ladder. Everybody's not willing to do anything just to climb a ladder of success, to be a star. Not everybody, right? Some people are like, they're not willing to do that in a company or whatever. Somebody recorded something. Somebody recorded something to use something against somebody. So remember, time is relative. Time is relative. So whether it already happened, is happening, about to happen, right? So for some of you all, some things have already happened, right? Because I'm seeing an obsession with stardom here. Somebody is obsessed with being a star. Like somebody is obsessed. But when you come across a person who is doing something solely for money versus doing something because it's their purpose, right? A person who is doing something with their purpose, they have a healthy work-life balance. They're like, okay, hey, they're done with their job. Okay, they have a life outside of that. They have a life outside of that, right? Which they protect that. They're protecting their water. They're literally protecting their water. They're not putting everything on social media. And if you're famous, you can't help it because you got paparazzi jumping out the jumping out the bushes, child. They ruthless with it, right? But somebody is still trying to link somebody to something that's going to bring in multiple streams of income. So you're seeing 8 here, 8 here, and 8 here. But the difference is that somebody is genuinely compassionate and somebody is pretending to be compassionate. Somebody is mirroring compassion and somebody is trying to use something in court, but they put somebody in a poisonous environment. But so here's the next little game and this little silliness here is somebody used an Aries to create. Water is creative, right? To create some kind of a scenario of another person. So Aquarius and Capricorn are the two signs that share a ruling planet, Saturn, right? Saturn return is a major life event, right? You can go look up Saturn return. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to do it. Go look it up. It's a major life event, like somebody could have moved, some kind of personal identifiable information being moved, like you relocated. A new baby could be born. It could be your first son, could be your first daughter, could be your first baby, could be a marriage, last name change, hyphenated name. Y'all get the point. Something different. Social security number change, whatever. Somebody looking for a power of attorney, guardianship, whatever. Something in court challenging someone's mental and physical health is what I'm seeing here. So the latest little silliness, what I'm seeing here is somebody got an Aries who was very impulsive to do something for a win, right? Because somebody really wants somebody to surrender something around money or something that they see of value, and they want to end. Aquarius is an air sign, which is sword energy. They want to come between some soulmates, right? So they're ruthless with it. So whether a phone is cloned, like let me say for instance, yesterday, just FYI, someone, I get these pop-up messages that my phone is trying to call out the country, right? And I know it's not me calling the out of the country. So I know someone has either cloned it or trying to clone my phone, because I'm not calling out of the country. Like I don't know anybody in these countries to call these places. But usually somebody's number that was probably someone called in for a personal reading, to my phone. Well, their number will pop up, and then a message will pop up afterward saying, okay, somebody's trying to call out of the out of the country, which is, for me, source's way of sharing with me, someone is cloning or did something, right? So I can check on that part. But source is saying to you, there's many different ways that people link up and try to find multiple streams of income here. And so while Mercury is retrograde, while it's currently retrograde, 5 planets right now currently retrograde, and Mercury being the most recent one, you want to pay attention to the best ways that you receive messages. You are an air sign. Get outside and get some air. Get outside and get some air. You're getting some downloads, right? And it's very clear. Something is very, very clear that somebody was put in a poisonous environment. Somebody that you love was put in a poisonous environment. So if you were to ask them a specific question, did you have something to drink? They probably did not. They probably would say, no, I wasn't drunk. No, I didn't have anything to drink. But they probably smelled something that was making their head lightheaded and dizzy, that they didn't even realize there was something odorless. Something that was, they didn't see any smoke. They didn't see, something was making them lightheaded and dizzy. They couldn't put see how this person has their index finger in their mouth on the card here? But you can tell something was going on with them. Like you could tell that wasn't something, the devil is in the details. Something wasn't right, right? They were put in a poisonous environment, right? Right? So that could be a link between something for somebody, right? Also, the polarity, the 7 is 4. Like I said, it connects us with Aries, who rules first house here, right? Somebody has an Aries moon, connects us with water. Somebody has an Aries moon, right? Who really wants an Aquarius to cut ties with somebody. Cut ties because somebody feels like somebody's a soulmate here. Somebody feels like somebody's a soulmate. They want to cut ties. So basically somebody is bullying someone, saying, well, if we're not soulmates, let me delve a little bit deeper to this. So 7 is Libra's card. Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus, the goddess of love, pleasure, art, music, and aesthetics, right? So it could be a Taurus secretly who has a moon in Aries, if in this the case here, who feels like somebody's a soulmate where things flow. Whoever they're connected with could be ruthless, right? In the spiritual realm, could be ruthless, right? And so you're getting on top of something. Somebody's really getting on top of something in terms of learning whether it's tarot or learning astrology, you're getting on top of the wheel. And just in terms of just learning something, that's why I keep saying in Mercury, like learning something, because somebody was contacted, but the conversation was being recorded. This is water. Some people use their water. Water has an affinity with the moon, and the moon connects us with secrets. All of what I'm saying here, you can read all of this in a book. Go to the library, people. Go read a book, right? For real. That's what I'm saying, especially when Mercury is retrograde. I wouldn't just say this to Virgos or Geminis. You can go read whatever your zodiac sign is. Go read it in the book. Somebody's getting a message loud and clear. Loud and clear. Somebody is having a breakthrough that somebody is being put. They were around a den of snakes. Somebody was around a den of snakes, right? And kind of going back through your memory, right? And so you can't fake compassion. Some people can try it as much as they can, but then after a while, you just can't fake it. Some people are just straight up ruthless. They ruthless. And what they said to somebody, right? And what they said to somebody what they wanted their wishes fulfilled. His 7 and 2 is 9, right? So 9 is a creative number. Matter of fact, we're 13 days away from Mercury, I believe, being going station direct. 13 is a rebirth. Somebody was ruthless and wanting a rebirth with someone. They wanted to really change someone. And the scales from someone's eyes have been finally removed because they're operating in their north node. They're operating in their north node, right? So you're getting a message loud and clear. How I always say, no one has any competition. When you're operating in your north node, you can have let's say you do hair. You have a salon sitting literally right next to somebody else who does hair. You do not have any competition. None. Because what source put in you is something so unique, is different and it's unique from what this person is doing. Now, I don't do hair, so I can't even speak on that. Like I know how to do mine, but that's not what I was called to do. Source is trying to tell somebody, whatever it is that you were called to do, please answer the call on your life and learn it. There's too many books out here. There's too much material out here for you not to, right? Learn it. So this what I'm seeing here. Somebody is really getting into their star. Somebody is really learning their star, because some people are straight up ruthless out here. And so you're free. You're free from something. You're free. You're a free spirit. You're operating in your purpose. I'm seeing soulmate energy out here. You're on top of things. You rolled the dice. You said, let me learn something. You are a star. You are a star. You're very clear-headed. That somebody was in a poisonous environment and you're seeing it. You're seeing something for yourself. And you're no longer linking up with certain people who feel like, okay, they're going to win at all costs. And that's what I'm saying for you. Something is just purely a transaction. Purely a transaction. New and exciting love awaits. New and exciting love awaits for you. That's the intention right there. So that's what you're seeing. Somebody's learning what a twin flame truly is. You're learning what a twin flame truly is. And as long as you are breathing, you have a purpose. You do not have any competition. You really, really don't. The sooner people learn that, the sooner people learn that and they realize, wow, you know what? Collaboration is key, and people can have multiple streams of income together and share, in the wealth. But somebody has somebody really, really does have a God complex. Like, it's just, you only can have one person shining at a time, right? You can only have one star at a time. And somebody planted that seed and somebody just took it and ran with it. You can only have one star at a shine. And some people, one star shining at a time. And some people just they can't break themselves out of that. They stuck in that loop. They can't help themselves. Like, they just can't stop themselves. And so, but there's, and they're ruthless with it. They are literally ruthless with it. They can't see somebody else store doing well. They can't see somebody, and I'm talking about like brickfront store doing well. They can't see somebody else's channel doing well. They can't see somebody else's sales doing well in social media. Like if they're an artist, they can't see anybody else doing just as good as they can't. It's just like they can't see it. So source is saying you just want to let source handle it. You know, let source handle it. So your current energy is this is the star. Hope, renewal, and spiritual clarity are returning. An affirmation for you is I'm aligned with my divine light. I'm divine with my aligned light. And what supports you is the Ace of Swords here. A breakthrough of truth clears mental fog. An affirmation for you is my mind receives truth with ease. My mind receives truth with ease. Yeah, the devil is the author of confusion. It's just continuing to operate in flesh, just continue to vibrate low, confused, roaming like the devil roams to and fro, looking. Okay, whose life can I just disrupt? Because somebody hadn't found out what their purpose is. So whose life can I just disrupt? And as soon as they find their purpose, all of a sudden everybody's hating on them. It's like, what? After all the stuff you did, here we have what blocks you. Here's the 7 of Cups here. It's too many options, not enough focus. And an affirmation is I choose what aligns my soul. You'll know what your purpose is when you're not operating in fear, no matter how ruthless people are. You're not operating in fear. You're just laser focused. You're laser focused. Somebody is a high priestess, a light high priestess, because they've gone through enough dark times with a particular spiritual group of energies. And it's not a, because some people want to make it about them, like it's a particular religious, like whatever name of group of people, whatever, they want to make it about them because they're talking about this group. They shouldn't flatter themselves. It's a particular spirit. It's a particular spirit. It could come in white, black, whoever. Because you can't label a whole group of people of being that. It's a frequency that certain people are on. So certain if somebody's telling that lie, they lying to themselves. Here we have the Queen of Cups here is your emotional landscape. So heightened intuition, empathy, and connection here. So an affirmation for you is my emotions guide me with wisdom. My emotions guide me with wisdom. And the 8 of Pentacles here is your mental landscape. 8 of Pentacles. Your mind is sharpening new skills and mastery away. So an affirmation, I grow stronger through consistency. I grow stronger through consistency. Yeah. You're learning to master your star. In other words, your north node. You're really learning to master your north node. And you're learning to align yourself with people who have mastered their north node. Together, you all are shining brighter and brighter and brighter. And things just flow. Things just flow. They love to learn. You love to learn. They're not trying to. Some of the things you all will have in common and some of the things you won't have in common. And then you'll just free yourself. And you'll know when to go down your stream. They'll go down their stream. But it's not a... you can learn how to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Some people, you agree to disagree. But then you'll know some people, that's not enough for them. They want to be ruthless. The public humiliation, the whole 9 yards, right? Creating stuff, like just creating stuff. And that's what I'm seeing here with this, is that somebody created something. Somebody created something about a star. Somebody created something about a star. 2 people who are a star, they created something about 2 energies that are stars. And something is coming out. Yeah, something is coming out. So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, because a lot of people having things in common. A lot of things have a lot of people have things in common. Some kind of a link is being made. Scorpio rules 8th house. We're not talking about a Scorpio. We're not necessarily talking about an Aries. We're not necessarily talking about a just so we're crystal clear. We're not necessarily talking about an Aquarius. I will not do my readings just so we're crystal clear. We're talking about houses. I'm linking houses with. So Aquarius here, a star, they rule 11th house. But you could be a star, okay? Meaning that you rule 3rd house. Well, you could be a star of your house, 3rd house. But your zodiac sign may not be Gemini. In your 3rd house. But you could have mastered your 11th house. Like in terms of, you could be a star of your friendship group, in your community, okay? Aquarius rules 11th house, and the 11th house is about friendship and community, teamwork, that kind of stuff. You could be a star of your group, right? This right here would be first impression, right? Somebody could have a first impression of you that you're cutthroat, that you're that you try to give people a nervous breakdown or whatever, but you're like, no, that's not me at all. That's not who I am at all, right? There's two sides of you, right? And again, the devil is in the details. The devil is in the details. Like, for example, somebody could say, like I've said on my channel before, Geminis are really funny, right? But another person could say, oh yeah, but you gotta be careful because a Gemini will cuss you out, right? That could be, both of those could be true. If you've ever been cussed out by a Gemini. They could be true for whoever, right? But somebody has new and exciting love coming across your path. So you're releasing the old and dull hate this is what you're doing. You're releasing the old and dull hate. You're not waiting. You're no longer waiting. You're no longer waiting, right? Yeah. So somebody is just, like I said, you're free. You're completely free. And somebody had to be ruthless towards you and call you some kind of a garden tool and say that y'all are soulmates. You don't flow like that. You don't flow like that. You're on top of things. You're on top of that. And a switch has flipped for you because something you learned, you took in something you learned, you're like, oh, okay, that's why somebody created some fake scenario. Somebody said that somebody was bipolar and somebody was saying something because, again, somebody was trying to somebody was just being ruthless. These energies, like I said, somebody was thinking about winning something at all costs, whoever this is. And I'm saying because I'm looking at the duality, right, of your zodiac sign, like bipolar, by this, by that. They had to create something because they put somebody in a situation and the person couldn't even think straight. And that's what it was. They ruthless. That's like literally putting somebody around some like colorless gas and the person's just poisoned and they can't even gather their thoughts to even concentrate and think straight. And the person is just like, they don't even know what the heck hit them, right? They don't even know to even open up a window, or probably not even near a window to even open up a window. Like I tell people, get outside and get some fresh air. So you asking them if they had a drink, they may not have had a drink, or they could have given them something that was, didn't have you see it on these crime shows all the time. For those of you who watch those crime shows, they may not even know they had something that was poisonous. And you're showing a great deal of compassion because whoever they're around, they're ruthless. These energies are freaking ruthless with it. Because all they see is a star and all they see is money. They see a fortune, a wheel of fortune, and you're seeing something from a higher frequency. You're now seeing something from a higher frequency. You're finally saying, okay, a bell went off. I needed to slow down during Mercury retrograde, and I'm seeing that, okay, I'm showing some compassion here. All these energies, all they see is a fortune. So you're praying for somebody. That's where this Aries comes in. Aries card is the Emperor card, prayer warrior energy, and that's where Aries comes in. You're showing compassion. You had a feeling that somebody was around something because this is what you have in common with somebody. you saw some kind of smoke, or so you smelled something. You was like, okay, that's how they were able to get somebody just kind of sort of off, because somebody was saying the same thing about you. Somebody made some kind of link. Okay, they don't sound the same. They sound like their words are slurred. They drinking. Somebody says something about you, like, okay, but they were trying to project this drinking or smoking mess onto you. Like, I don't drink and I don't smoke, right? And so somebody was trying to project something onto you. So if you were to ask somebody that you love, hey, were you drinking when last time you talked to them, and said, no, I wasn't drinking. Were you sure you weren't drinking? No, they may not have been lying to you, but they see the smoke right here. Yeah, they could have smelled something and just all of a sudden got lightheaded and dizzy and just didn't even realize what the smell was. These energies knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Master manipulators. So looking at the cards here, High Priestess energy, spiritual message. Trust your inner voice more than external chatter. An affirmation is, I hear my soul with perfect clarity. So I'm picking up that somebody here, this, like I said, the devil is in the details, 7 of Cups here. See how this person has their index finger and their, and there's a lot of spiritual significance to this as well here. Somebody is calling somebody a snake. Somebody could be calling you a snake, and this is what you have in common with somebody, because they feel like you got away, that you didn't get caught up in something legal. Some energies were trying to get you caught up in some kind of a loop. So they watched you walk away from something, and they're basically saying, oh, you're a snake, you got away with something, or whatever the case may be, when really you picked up on something. And just talking to somebody. Something about your energy. I'm trying to pick out several clairs here. You have clairaudience. Clairvoyance. Claircognizance. Clairsentience. At least those 4 clairs. At least. That's why I tell people to operate in purpose. You have at least those 4 clairs. At least. And so somebody may not have been aware, because they may not have seen it in the physical realm. They may have been looking for something in the physical realm to pick up on something. And so you being an air sign may be like, okay, something doesn't smell right in here. Let me open up some windows. Something doesn't smell right. But as soon as your head starts getting lightheaded and dizzy, you're like, let me open up a window, right? Another person may feel like, let me just go lay down and go to sleep, right? Right. Instead of opening up a window, they may say, okay, it's too cold outside, or it's too hot. Let me turn the air on. So you're circulating that poison, right? Instead of opening up a fresh window, opening up a window, right? You tell somebody, you know what? Go get some water. Go get some water out of the sink, right? Or go get some water out of the, go get some bottled water, not unopened. Go get some fresh water, from somewhere, right? But somebody, like I said, picked up, made a connection with something, and somebody called somebody a snake, and you're showing a great deal of compassion. But these energies are ruthless, especially with energies that are free spirited. But guess what? It mirrors their same energy. What I'm picking up on is misogyny. In other words, and it's not just for men, it could be women too, the same way. Certain things that men could do, women can't do in this particular situation here. And you got women who buy into that same mindset, right? That it's okay for men to look down on women. Same, whatever. But that's not the way that all men think. So anyway, looking at your cards here, I'm seeing soulmate energy, guidance for relationships. Harmony, mutual understanding, and deeper union. An affirmation for you is, I attract balance and fulfilling connections, is what I'm seeing here. So congratulations to you here. And so Knight of Wands, career and purpose, momentum returns, passion fuels forward leaps. And an affirmation for you here is, I take inspired action towards my calling. So yeah, so I feel like somebody is now learning how to communicate, putting an end to chaos, confusion, and craziness is what I'm seeing here. You're on top of it. And this is a wheel of fortune, what to embrace. Change is divine timing and motion. So let the shifts occur. Affirmation for you is I welcome the blessings meant for me. Somebody feels like they couldn't beat them, so they had to join them. They had to, they had to join, a particular group. This whoever this energy is, had to join a particular group of energy. So here's the outcome is the magician card. Is the magician. The personal power intensifies. You manifest rapidly. So affirmation for you is I create my reality with intention and magic, right? Yep. With magic. So you've sent a message. I feel like you sent a message to, you're continuing to send messages to energies because you've gone through a dark night of the soul. You went through like dark high priestess energy. You've gone through some dark nights around snakes, dark nights of the soul. Like you've gone through some kind of an initiation process with these energies who were just focusing on the physical realm, right? Meaning that they're looking at just the outer shell. They're looking at how much money they can make off of could this person play an instrument? Can they sing? Can they dance? How do they look? Is this person great in accounting? Is this person like, great at whatever, just money, just focusing on money, right? And not necessarily focusing on collaborating. It's just something is just one-sided. Looking at the card, something is just purely one-sided. So candles for you all: yellow candle, white, light blue, and white. You can use white candle for anything, but the first one is yellow candle for mental clarity, focus. A light blue candle is for communication and peace. White candle is for purification and divine alignment. Okay. Gemstones for you all will be citrine. That's for confidence, positivity, and manifestation. Labradorite would be for psychic awakening and intuition. Pyrite, which I just gave away some on whose channel? Capricorn's channel, I think. Speaking of Capricorn, pyrite is for motivation, abundance, and mental strength. Okay. Herbs for Gemini's aura would be lemon balm. Some of these you actually have like in your teas. You can probably, use for your teas. But lemon balm for calms the nervous system. Lavender would be for clarity plus relaxation. Peppermint would be for mental sharpness and energetic cleansing. Mugwort, you can use that lightly, enhances intuition and dream work. A mantra for you all could be I speak clearly, choose consciously, and rise boldly into my higher self. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, but again, get into practicing when your ruling planet goes retrograde. You realize that planets don't move backwards. They don't move at a slower pace. Get into the library. Save your money. Get into the library. Get some books. Read, right? Whatever way you best learn, right? But hold your vision. Get fixed on your ruling planet goes retrograde. You love to learn. Get into the library. Learn something new. It's not about how many degrees you have, who's smarter, who looks better. That stuff is superficial. So it's just saying to you, it's time to find out who you flow with. You're free. You're free from something. You're free spirited. You're a free thinker. And you're learning how to collaborate. You're no respecter of person. Everybody is a star. Everybody has an 11th house is what I mean by star. And people are being put in these poisonous environments. And almost feeling helpless. Like I said, and this beaver moon, and beavers build dams to keep away from predators. And people are preying on people in these poisonous environments. So they may not be drinking. They were preyed enough in their families. Okay, the family, oh, we all come meeting together and we having drinks at so-and-so. And they all click, taking pictures. And then somebody asks them the question, do they drink? They'll say, oh, yeah, we got pictures of them drinking. That may be their only time drinking. Or they may be so few and far in between that they drink, but put them in the face of a predator who feels like, okay, this person is my soulmate and I want us back together again. And the person doesn't want them anymore. That's their opportunity to prey on them. You know what? This same Ace of Swords right here can also be a needle. The same thing as a pen can also be used as a needle. Take a blood test. Take a blood test for them and take a blood test for them. See who has alcohol in their system and who doesn't. See who has drugs in their system and who doesn't. Intuition, right? Each person's road to the inner Lord is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. People need to stop playing. We talk about non-duality here. Everybody has divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So somebody's learning how to accept something, right? Radical acceptance and the now opens the flow. Radical acceptance and the now opens the flow. As soon as some people where things don't flow for them, some people, all hell breaks loose for some people. Some people just can't move on. They can't just move on with their lives. So that's what Source is trying to teach you is when you're in the presence of a light, high vibrating high priestess, you can be a high priestess too. That's just intuition. Men and women have intuition. Somebody was trying to link somebody to something that they feel like they have perfected something. But they thought because somebody couldn't see something that they had gotten away with something. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, something is being purged. I don't know what's going to happen, but somebody is going to be sent to rehab. Somebody's going to have to go to rehab. I don't know who this is for. This could be somebody who is famous. Because somebody is tired of enabling a behavior. You know, somebody is really, really tired of enabling something. So yeah, first red flag, pray and meditate. First red flag, pray and meditate. But let go and let God. Let go and let God. Yeah. Somebody has an envious spirit. They feel like they could control you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whoever it is. And it's somebody that you have in common. You and somebody have a lot in common. Y'all have two things in common. But be patient. The answers that you need are coming. So he apologizes for betraying you. They regret lying to you. Follow your heart. Yeah, you're a star. You have the gift of clairaudience. What I say before, somebody just hears something. Like somebody could just hear, like when you talk to somebody, you knew that they were in a poisonous environment. Whoever this energy is, you knew they were in a poisonous environment. So if you were to ask them, like for instance, because you're seeing cups here, right? Right? I forgot what that was. I was watching this. I don't watch crime shows anymore, but I remember years ago I saw this crime show. What was the name? I'm gonna find it. What was that? It was a colorless and odorless something I saw. Liquid. It was something that I saw one time on this crime show. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? Why don't people just leave people? Like, just go on about your business. Like, go on with your life. Like, is it that deep? For some people, I guess it is. But the devil is in the details. Somebody, yeah, something really needs to come out in court, for real. Something really needs to come out because somebody lied about something. So somebody misses you. Somebody misses you. Message from your ancestors. Somebody's a druid, a kind of malevolent nocturnal spirit associated with nightmares. Your ancestors have a message. Okay, let me something else. Let me see. Yeah, somebody was trying to box you in. Okay. With this Ace of Swords here, right? Something about the pen. This is what's coming to me. Something about the pen. The way a contract was written. Okay, so Ace and 7 is 8. So 8, it connects us with 8th house. 8th house is about 8th house is about it is about intimacy and shared possessions, like deep, dark, and mysterious stuff. Like shared possessions, like assets, money. Assets could be like houses, like stuff that appreciates, right? In value, right? So let's like a house or something, right? And somebody. The details are in the way that something was written, right? Somebody has the original paperwork, right? Somebody did something with the somebody actually has the original paperwork, right? So somebody lied about the way a contract, this is right here, right? Somebody lied about a particular contract, right? And when they saw it, it drove them nuts. Literally, when I say walnuts connect us with like this right here, the ace, whenever I see the Ace of Swords, I think about walnuts, brain food, right? It literally drove somebody nuts, right? And they said somebody was a snake. They said somebody was a snake. They got away with something and they could not let something go, right? Because the way that a contract was written, they went off, right? So something needs to come out in court because of the way a contract was written, right? And these energies, this is what makes something challenging. It's going to make it challenging in court, is because of who this energy dragged into something. They dragged like the legal system into it, right? They dragged like attorneys into it. Somebody was literally so obsessed. They literally, yeah, and when we talking about people who, we ain't talking about people who got their degrees off the back of a cereal box. We talking about people who actually, their families paid for them to go to law school. Somebody's going to rehab. Somebody's going to be sent into rehab. They were so pressed with physical appearance of something. They were so desperate. Instead of them like literally saying, okay, I need help for something. I don't know if it was smoking or drinking or something going on. Instead of them saying, I just need help. Like, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, for real, if you need help, you need, I mean, and I feel like whoever you are, you were showing some compassion towards the energy. They just went the ruthless route. They went the ruthless route. They decided, hey, I don't want to get help. I'm just going to be ruthless. I'm going to hang with the ruthless crew. Okay, well. Inspiration. They decide they're going to rewrite a whole contract, except somebody got the original contract. This energy, they play too many games. This energy play way too many games. I guess my example of what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, let's say, okay, because when you talk about 8, the number 8, so when you break in a chain, right? Because I'm looking at the infinity symbol here, this right here. Because this is what I'm picking up for you, Gemini. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are. So 8 connects us with intimacy and shared possessions. Like I said, houses, assets, money, banking accounts, whatever. And y'all got to go y'all separate ways. So let's say y'all go to court and the attorney, I'm not an attorney, by the way. So, go talk to your attorney. Don't go talk to your friend who said they talked to somebody because they get it all messed up. But talk to your attorney. But let's say they say, okay, it's clearly written that you get this and you get this, right? Right. So somebody's supposed to go get their stuff, right? This how this is how fine something is. Like this person right here plays so many games. This is what you and somebody have in common. They play so many games that when they were supposed to do what they were supposed to do, they they would do stuff like put this performance on, like create this kind of a performance. And like, see this ace right here. This right here could be anything. Ace could be a pen. It could be a key. It could be a needle. It could be anything that you would use to like enter into a next, into like a next portal or something, right? This energy would say something like they didn't have a key to get into the house, which would be a lie, right? They would tell that kind. That's how detailed you would have to be. They would say they didn't have a key to get into a house. Let's say you weren't at home, whatever. They would say they didn't have a key to, so they couldn't get what they had. So they would run off and tell everybody that you was the snake. Except your eyes are open. You like, okay, they playing games. You only had time to play games. You don't even have time to play games. But they got to take the lie to the whole, they got to take a lie to the whole nother level, because they really don't want the relationship to end. They feel like y'all are soulmates because all they care about is you being a star. Maybe you're the star of your office. Maybe you great in sales. Maybe you know, you got the employee of the ward what is it? Employee of the month every month or whatever. They want to be connected to your star in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They just want to be in receiving mode of everything that you bring in through the door. Just drama, unnecessary drama. But you got the original contract agreement from the attorneys. You got the original. So they always doing something, dragging people, professionals into stuff. And I'm talking about people who actually went to school. We're not talking about just somebody, your best friend, who think they know something about the law. We're talking about people who actually went to school, graduated, passed the bar. We're talking about those people who are passionate about their purpose. Child, Lord have mercy. Whew. Somebody, if this we're talking about these 7 bowls right here. If it's a house, this person will swear up and down they will perjure themselves in court and say they didn't have a key. I'm telling y'all, they would say anything. They didn't have a key. They didn't have this. They didn't, child, just, Lord have mercy. Just a mess. Anyway, here's it, throat chakra. Yeah, this fish right here, something smell fishy. You knew something was child. You knew something smelled fishy. There's water right here. Somebody regrets lying to you. Somebody was gonna carry a lie to their grave, y'all. They was gonna carry a lie. I don't know who this is. I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody was gonna carry a lie to their grave, y'all. That's why they regret lying to you right now. They feel boxed in now. Whoever this he is, he apologizes for betraying you. He could have told us whoever he would. I don't even know who he is. Lord have mercy. But you won. I see somebody getting married, so congratulations, you won. You had a feeling about something. I'm telling y'all better learn how to go with them feelings and ask Source, okay, if you don't get it, Source, help me to understand the best way I learn. You don't have to wait for your planet to be retrograde for you to just, whatever, I don't know what people's religious beliefs are or spiritual beliefs and all of that. I'm not stepping over that line. If you tuned into this channel, you came to this channel. Whatever the best way you learn, that's how you go to Source and ask Source. Okay? But answer the call in your life. I see you getting married, whoever you are, congratulations. But somebody had a key. Somebody had a key. If this is something that appreciates, somebody had a key to the house. They could have gotten into a house and they could have climbed up the stairs. This right here, climbed up the stairs and gotten whatever they need to get. All these bowls right here and represented whatever they needed to get out of a house right here. But instead, they slithered away like a snake. So this really makes them the snake, right? It really makes them the snake on allowing somebody else. Because they like to be associated with people. They like to be associated with people's star. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Bye.